So after playing Fury in the hard mode of the new raid, even in its nerfed state, it can still perform very well. I will show you the full gameplay of the second boss. Again, this is hard mode and I am tanking for the first part. After the gameplay, I will show you my build, where it's currently at, and some insights as what I would improve further. So there you have it. You can definitely see I have some mana issues towards the end of the fights, something I definitely need to work on with my build. Everything is currently pretty much what I use on Invocator. I have not invested anything into Fury other than getting the Queen Belandir crossbow. I use the cape here just for the attack speed because I have it. The rune synergies and the runes you can see in Belandir, Tevent, the necklace, bracelet, then the 2 rings, earrings, and the belt. Ideally, I would switch up a bunch of these accessories to ultimately get more buff duration, more cooldown speed, and more attack speed. Like, I want to be getting this attack speed to nearly 100%, getting this down to like 0.18 seconds. That way you get a ton more hits out per second, which just means a lot more triggers of Abyssal Burst, and also maintaining your curses with Corrupting Hit. But yes, Fury can still do very well. You can see the setup here, although within that fight I was using the Fountain of Life, primarily because I'm tanking, I'm taking that extra damage, and it also just gives me mana back. Specializations then were these for the crossbow and these for the wand, with, yes, a lot of points in Fountain of Life to get that mana to make it last a bit longer. I also don't have then the cooldown reduction on weak point shot because these bosses don't do nearly enough Fury or Wrath attacks to actually trigger it that often, so it wasn't too necessary. But if you can use mana exchange, it's a little bit better with regards to mana regen. You would not use these points in Fountain of Life, then you can put the point in the cooldown and the point in mana exchange. Something I still want to do further testing on is potentially not using Dark Explosion, and that's because with crossbow you have such a high hit rate, you could potentially get away with it as you're refreshing those curses really quickly. Additionally, you can potentially use Corrupted Magic Circle for an additional dot. I just don't really like the cast time, but again, it could be beneficial, and maybe switch off using Ray of Disaster, or if we get our build optimized a bit better, not even have to use mana exchange. So more testing still to be have done, but I showed what I did in the gameplay. Masteries are as follows here. This one helping a little bit with the mana regen. Ideally you wouldn't have to use it because you're reducing your max mana, which means max damage. And then these are the wand masteries. We are using the self heal, so we're not using Vampiric Onslaught because, yeah, I'm tanking, so I don't really want to be taking that extra damage. So I want to be having that bit of a safety net. And for the last phase, you need quite a bit of healing because you get a lot of those stacks very quickly, and it can be, again, just a bit more of a safety net, and you still do decent damage. Like, I'm doing more damage than the other guys in my party as prevalent through tanking. It's not like we have any extra benefits for threat. We are simply dealing damage, which means we are the highest one dealing damage in the group. Again, my build is nowhere near optimal for Fury. It's very scuffed, in fact, as it's more tailored towards Invocator. There are plenty of changes I have been looking at. I believe this one here might be the best setup. You get a ton of attack speed, nearly 100% there, down to 0.18 seconds. You have pretty good stats here then as well. A load of mana cost efficiency, so you shouldn't have any mana issues. You're getting that dex to 99, and you have pretty good cooldown speed as well. But again, this is still open to change. I have not tested this setup, and you are a bit more on the squishy end with not having a lot of hit points. Like when you're going into nightmare mode or tier 10 plus trials, you probably need to be getting more hit points than that, upwards of at least 20,000 to 25,000. So you'd be switching up a bunch of your mana runes over to hit points, potentially some artifacts as well. Instead of max damage here, you get more hit points, and maybe getting up to 30 strength. This is more of a glass cannon setup to try and min-max those stats to improve your damage. The balance will be up to you. But again, this is just work in progress. I'll leave a link to my quest log in the video description below, and you can see my current build. Again, it's pretty much a copy and paste of what I use on Invocator, just with the Queen Belandir Expo. And I have no intention to trait these out just yet, as you do not need them traded to get them upgraded. So I'll wait till they're upgraded, till I have a bit more Ashen Fragments, and then I will trait them. For the wand, I ideally will get the skill core. I will extract it. then upgrade that skill core and put it on a legendary wand. The main reason is because the legendary wand can get this crazy amount of attack speed and a good boost in cooldown speed. Again, I'm sure I can output a ton more damage when I optimize my stats, but as it stands, Fury is not bad, even with that nerf, but this just means Fury's not broken. Like, it was completely broken stacking this over a few minutes and ending up with an insane amount of damage on curse explosions. You may see people running alternate weapons and they can be viable, like Ackman's or Deckman's, and I will say yes, Deckman's wand is very comparable to Tevent. The only benefit of Tevent is it's much better to use as an actual wand with the base damage, but in terms of just comparing the skill cores, Tevent's versus Deckman's, they're pretty much in line with each other, because with Tevent you're not using Corrupted Magic Circle, and then with Deckman's you do gain that dot, and you don't have that long cast time because it's directly linked to Ray of Disaster, which then lasts 6 seconds and every hit will refresh the duration of that dot. I will do some more experimenting, potentially using that Magic Circle instead of Ray of Disaster while using Tevent. Getting that extra dot may help more with Curse Explosions and Abyssal Burst, and that would just mean Deckman is quite a bit worse then, because now you have the dot along with the Tevent dot. But the big advantage of the Tevent skill core is reducing the defense, which just improves your entire party's damage against the target. So there's no question Tevent is clearly better, but if you're just looking at dummy tests, Deckman's can do nearly as good. In terms of using Ackman instead of Queen Valandir, I can't really give much of a definitive answer, but I would say upgrading Valandir to now have the improved skill core just increases that damage significantly to 170% times 3, and that's a lot of extra damage over time, which contributes to your Curse Explosions and Abyssal Bursts. However, you do get the benefit of 12% more attack speed, along with the ability to gain 6% more cooldown as a trait. I have seen other people doing pretty good tests with Ackman, so I'm sure it's very viable. But thanks for watching. A special thank you to the support of my channel members, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.